With us today is Ady Barkan. We have a picture of Ady's beautiful family here today, and I'm sure your son is incredibly proud of you. If you recognize Ady's name, it's because he's been fighting like hell for his life and for all of ours. I can't do Ady's story justice. I will let him tell it. Mr. Barkan, and the floor is yours.
For 20 years, since I was a freshman on my high school debate team, I have been giving speeches, but never before without my natural voice. Never before have I had to rely on a synthetic voice to tell the details of my personal story. 3 years ago, I felt like I had reached the mountaintop. I spent my career as an activist fighting for causes like this one, and I had a dream job working for social justice.
Hey, yeah, so my name's Ady Barkan. I'm the campaign director for Fed Up, which is our national campaign for a strong economy. So we're here to raise our voices and to make sure that the perspectives and opinions and experiences of working families and communities of color all around the country get heard.
All communities deserve good jobs and decent wages.
Let's give it up to all of you for being part of this movement for worker, racial justice, and economic justice.
I now pronounce that you are married.
Rachel and I were college sweethearts. She got a new job as an English professor at the University of California, so we moved to Santa Barbara right before we got married.
She's an amazing partner because she is brilliant, and she laughs at my jokes, even when they're stupid. And then she tells me, stop making stupid jokes. Those are not funny.
And then our son Carl was born.
Say hi. Carl, you're going up the stairs for the first time.
Having Carl brought us even closer together.
He can sound like horse feet. We are about to give Carl his first bite of solid food.
We were so in love with him, and right away we started talking about having another baby.
We rolling?
Oh, I slipped over, sorry. All right.
Yeah, we forgot, like any good husband, I forgot that today is our 1-year anniversary since we were married. And that wedding was incredible. It's really been 11 years that we've been together. Our 11th anniversary on September 30th was our last night before we got the first preliminary suggestion that something was really wrong.
I was diagnosed with ALS today, which is a deadly, debilitating disease for which there is no cure and very little treatment. So I can't sleep. I'm reading about the disease, about living with ALS. Although I am so sad and so scared, I really, really want to make the best of what I have left with the people whom I love and who love me.
So we are going to have you look right into the lens.
Can you fix his hair a little bit more and fix his collar?
You can always fix his hair a little bit more.
Oh, well, like this.
Ready for the interview.
No one wants to see that. He's always been known for his abs.
Hi. Nice to see you too. Nice to see you, Rachel. Nice to see you. Good.
A lot of that deterioration, as you can hear.
That's what I was reading.
My voice. And, yeah.
This most recent test that they did showed a decline.
Yeah.
You may need a tracheostomy in order to maintain your airway.
It's a hard trade-off.
Yeah. Some patients say, you know what, I am fine with getting a tube to help me eat, but I would never want something to help me breathe. I wouldn't want a tracheostomy. Yeah. And right now, your respiratory function has only started to decline, but it's something that we put to the forefront earlier on so that you're thinking about it.
I wasn't exactly thrilled about extending my life without the ability to eat, speak, or breathe. When I was diagnosed, they gave me 3 to 4 years to live. The next month, Trump was elected president. I realized that the country was, pardon my French, totally fucked. But I was in no place to return to activism. The only thing that brought me joy was spending time with Rachel and Carl. And for brief moments, I could forget about my illness.
Where should we go? What flowers do you see? Do you see bougainvillea?
I see doggy flowers.
Doggy flowers?
No.
Can you sing Wonderful World? And I think to myself.
No, cozy. Cows of rice and cows of blue. The baby today, the chicken lay. I see my house with a wonderful world.
Good job, Carl. Beautiful singing. Hey, Carl, do you have a bill? How much is that for? Let's look. How much is this for? That's the ventilator.
Okay, so they want to charge you.
Yeah. Invoice number 122.71.
The knowledge that I was dying was terrible. But dealing with my insurance company was even worse. They denied coverage of a breathing machine that I desperately needed, calling it experimental. I decided to find out why.
My doctor's office said that in 6 years of prescribing this machine, they'd never once seen a denial. Why was the machine deemed experimental?
I don't have a line of sight into that. We are very sorry for your frustration. We are not in business to create frustration. That's not.
I already knew America's healthcare system was broken. But I was experiencing its brokenness personally for the first time. Then Republicans in Congress proposed a tax bill that would gut our healthcare system even further. I realized I couldn't stay quiet any longer.
There is a chaotic rush right now to ram through a tax cut bill. This bill ends the key Obamacare insurance mandate affecting up to 13 million people.
Still no indication how Senator Jeff Flake will vote. He says he still has the same concerns.
the money shot.
I don't think I can do this anymore.
Beginning to doubt your commitment to fashion.
All right, ready to rumble. We're here in Washington, D.C., trying to stop this bill. Why? I have ALS, which is causing me to become paralyzed quite quickly, and as a result, I'm using a wheelchair. My voice is no longer as melodious as it used to be. To Senator Jeff Flake, you don't have to do this way. I understand that you want a tax cut. I understand that you are conservative and I am not, and that's okay. But you can get a tax cut without ripping health care away from tens of millions of people.
This is Ady Barkan.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
My name's Ady. So can I ask, as you know, this bill is going to cut Medicare and destabilize the entire national health insurance system.
Sure. He's still in the process of reviewing it. He hasn't made a conclusive decision one way or the other. So we're grateful for you guys stopping by, though.
Well, so let me tell him this. Hey, we are human beings. We have dreams and hopes and love and relationships just like he does and just like you do. Yes. And message number 2 is, if he votes for this bill, he will lose his job in 10 months. Yes. So that's his choice.
Our representatives weren't listening. My voice was fading. And it was time to head home. Then, right as I was boarding the plane, I overheard a woman talking a mile a minute about politics and viral videos.
When I first met him, you know, he had been like eavesdropping on my conversations, like, who the fuck is this? But it was like weird, it was like this weird electricity.
Turns out she runs political campaigns for underdog candidates, and we had a lot in common.
He said I was protesting the tax bill. And just before that, I had seen Senator Jeff Flake go on the plane. And I said, why don't you talk to him? He's like, will you film it? And I said, yeah.
On this plane is Arizona Senator Jeff Flake.
I'm right behind you.
You see him?
I don't know. I think you're supposed to be filming anything on the airplane.
Okay.
Hi, Senator.
Hi.
How are you?
We are testing to see, because Senator Flake hopefully is going to come back and see Ady. So Ady.
Hey there. Let's see if this audio works. And let's see if it works from like 2 or 3.
Yeah, okay.
Can you hear me right now if I talk like this?
We're going to find out.
Thank you so much for coming back. It means a lot to me. I'm 33. I have an 18-month-old son. And out of nowhere, I was diagnosed with ALS. I will need to go on a ventilator to live. But this tax bill is probably going to force $400 billion in automatic cuts. So what should I tell my son, or what should you tell my son, if you pass this bill and I can't get a ventilator?
I'm working with the administration and with leadership on this, but I'm not going to say publicly, here's my ultimatum on this or that.
You can save my life. Please remember this conversation.
You're very up on everything, aren't you?
My life depends on it. This is your moment to be an American hero. Please, we are all going to be watching you. Thank you.
Liz came up with a great hashtag. And the video went viral before the plane even landed.
My next guest made headlines when he confronted a Republican senator on an airplane. Ady Barkan is a 33-year-old attorney. And about a year ago, he was diagnosed with ALS.
I was in search of a story that ended in something more than tragedy.
All right, I'm going to knock on your door.
Did you just get out of jail?
I just got out of jail.
Are you gonna keep protesting on Monday?
Fuck yeah.
Liz and I had just met, but we made a good team. We decided to try and start a movement.
Be a Hero is a new campaign that we launched this week to urge people to stand up, tell their stories, confront the elected officials.
We started to plan a 40-day, 18-state tour to flip the House in the upcoming midterm elections.
These are the districts, and these are all of the incumbents.
So the idea was to stop in each of these key critical districts that could be flipped. If they voted for the tax bill, if they voted to cut health care for people like Ady, we would replace them.
Some observers would say that you're exploiting his disease.
Absolutely.
For political gain.
Absolutely.
If I can hustle despite all the challenges in front of me, then everybody can get out there and make sure we have a wave election. Hey, Carl, what do you see out there?
2, 3, 4, 5, 8.
Yeah, are we gonna watch them fly in the sky? Come, sit on my lap.
Oh, that's
Whoa,
a fancy one.
Look at that airplane. Wow, wow, wow.
I'm pretty torn about Ady being gone for so long. Is it better to be here with me and Carl and making the most of, whatever amount of voice he has left? It's great for him to get the chance to do this, but hopefully he doesn't get too exhausted because, it's not just like us when we get tired that we need to rest and sleep, but he actually has a lot of trouble moving when that happens.
Blow as hard as you can. Blow, 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 blow. Keep going. Go, 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 go. It was 44%.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a huge decline.
Is it?
Yeah, I was at 70. My whole body is going paralyzed, but losing my voice is far more consequential for me than losing my ability to walk. I've got a lot to say and not a lot of time left to say it in.
What Abba doing?
What is Abba doing?
Medicine.
Carl,
Medicine,
yeah, medicine.
No.
Whoa.
I'm not sure how many more months I have where I can speak well enough that I can be understood, but I plan to spend every one of those months doing everything I can. As my life is coming to the end, I want to make my son proud. Rachel knows that this may be one of the last times I can bird dog a senator or speak at a rally. She's sacrificing so that we can do this. I admire her and appreciate her so much. Nate, I think if you tilt it back, there are wheels.
Yeah.
The only thing I can do now is boss people around. I can't do anything for myself. You're doing it wrong. Do it differently. Carl. I'm nervous. Will my recliner fit in the RV? I can't sleep without it.
I have like an inch.
What's happening? Amazing. That's why he was in church twice.
You want socks and shoes on?
Yeah. It definitely will be hard being apart from Rachel and Carl. I love you. The other big thing is, how much do I deteriorate? What happens if I cease being able to speak? Bada boom, bada bing.
Welcome aboard.
Rolling.
Doing it! Yeah, baby!
Healthcare activist Ady Barkan is battling ALS, and he's been asking voters to be his hero and vote for candidates who will protect healthcare.
The first three will be, yo, people, listen up. In the face of a political system that has been bought and sold, that creates barriers between the represented and the representatives. We're going to stop in 30 congressional districts, and we're going to demand that elected officials engage with their constituents. We call it bird dogging. Thanks for coming.
Quinn Snyder, nice to meet you. I'm a local doc. I heard you were going to be here today.
Oh, wow.
Welcome to Arizona. What are you doing here?
Rev McSally promised that they're going to take away medical disability from people like me. So I came here to try to make sure that doesn't happen.
She's good.
Yeah, she's pretty good for an amateur.
Okay.
It takes time to learn how to dress a big boy.
All right,
All right, let's roll.
All right, let's go.
Please, you can go open the door.
All right, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I think you're at the wrong office.
No, I think I'm at the right one.
This is
My
McSally,
name-
right?
Yes,
Hi,
this
my
is
name's
not a government
Audrey.
office, though, so you can't
Oh,
be
yeah.
No,
for
we know.
sure. Can you tell me why she voted
Sir,
for the
I'm sorry,
tax
but
bill?
I need you guys to leave the property. I've already called law enforcement.
So when
Sir, I'm sorry.
when voters want to hear from, that's okay. So we have 2 Arizona constituents right here. They're making decisions that are having huge negative impacts, and they won't even listen to our voices.
All right.
When can we go over the calendar? Because it was so small. I mean, hopefully we had some good video one-on-one, but we should figure out where we can have more folks and not waste too much time with too many tiny things.
Yeah. I'm going to push back and say some of the little stuff is going to be more powerful than the big stuff. People telling their stories is like one of the key parts of this.
These online videos are what drives the whole campaign.
If you're willing to come and help us out for an hour or two tomorrow, that would be huge. And then he can come and speak, and they can just say, we're so excited to be having a campus kickoff with Ady Barkan. And then I have USA Today that's later this afternoon.
Again?
Complaining?
That's great. No. We have such a good group of people on this tour. Liz is a creative and brilliant bulldozer. She has a vision to produce videos about the tour and air before the election. My best friend Nate is taking care of me. He can pick me up and put me down so I haven't had any falls. Helen is very sophisticated when it comes to planning events. And Tracy Corder, she leads bird dog training. My conversation with Jeff Flake was about trying to force him to recognize my humanity, and obviously it didn't work, but what it did do is highlight this callousness. All right, let's give Tracy a hand.
What are some places that we can find elected officials this summer?
Fairs.
Mm-hmm.
Parades.
Parades. Yep. Why are you voting Tickling My Healthcare? Like, it's awkward, right? Because I'm not letting go of his hand until he gives me an answer. So a good question starts with something personal about you. Then it goes to something that gives a general scope of a concern. And then it's a direct question. My mom has had mental health disorder my whole life. I had to hospitalize her twice. And if it wasn't for her health care, we would be bankrupt. The confrontation can be awkward, and that's why we practice this. Anytime I've done it, I've been nervous the whole time.
Senator, I have a goddaughter who was diagnosed with melanoma. She's going to have this pre-existing condition for the rest of her life. I want to see if you will commit that pre-existing conditions will continue to be covered.
Ma'am, this is a microphone for everyone. I can't answer your question. Security.
I don't think you answered the question.
I'm going to allow Helen, my staffer, to take your information. And as we read through the legislation that I'm proposing, we'll take those stories into consideration.
Why are you afraid to answer?
I am so fascinated, though, to hear your answer, though, to the question about pre-existing conditions. You know, it's just so important. Oh, it's so. But I know that because you probably also have a pre-existing condition, don't you? And you have wonderful coverage. And I just really hope that you would be able to commit as the people ask.
All right.
The leadership of the Republican Party have said they want to cut Medicare disability. Well, what that means is cutting my Medicare disability. That's what
I can't speak for whoever you're talking about. I'm not familiar with them saying they wouldn't cut anything.
We can't convince the politicians, but we can highlight for the American people the moral stakes of this election. Representative Paulson has stopped seeing us as human beings.
People who are in his district will die because of the way that he votes.
He has never once in the past 2 years had a town hall for his constituents.
We'll schedule a meeting and we'll do it in a nice, civil, respectful, professional manner.
Taking healthcare away from people is not civil. So if we show up somewhere and we ask tough questions, that is civility.
Emma, love.
Hi. I'm eating pasta night.
Oh, yeah, is it good?
Remember what this pasta is called? Pasta.
Carl loves pasta almost as much as his father.
I'm eating olives.
Olive, olive.
I know you too, sweetie.
This is the longest I've been without Rachel and Carl since my diagnosis. This level of intense work exacerbates the symptoms. But I feel like this trip is a coda or an important milestone for me.
And when do you think he needs to do his next physical therapy?
You know, I would say as often as he has time to get in, just being able to maintain his range of motion and flexibility as much as possible.
Okay. He's on the road till like the middle of August.
I'm sorry.
So,
That's a brutal schedule.
Yeah.
Let's preserve your blinding likeness. Just another relaxing morning with ALS.
Hey.
It's so good to finally meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Give me a hug.
Yeah, we're working hard on growing a human.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
It's really awesome to meet you.
Likewise.
It's nice to have other people our age.
Mm.
It's hard to be younger with this disease. And
It's the first time I've really felt like I wasn't included in the people our country cares about.
That's right.
And it's easy to think it shouldn't be this bad or getting a wheelchair shouldn't take 4 months, but it really does.
Yeah.
And so we're really glad that you're out there speaking about it because it's hard enough just to live every day,
Yes.
let alone advocate about it.
It's really, I don't want to say inspirational because everybody says that I'm super patronizing.
Yeah.
It's a labor of love.
So you guys are 10 weeks away from a baby. I'm sure it's terrifying, but it's been wonderful for us.
I appreciate you saying that. It's really happy and terrifying.
Yeah.
Because that's like exactly how it feels. And I think when we decided to have a kid, we waited almost a year after Jake was diagnosed. And as like it gets closer, it gets more real and terrifying. But I also think it's like a leap of faith of saying, I don't just want to live in fear and I want to find joy and happiness and we'll figure it out. Jake's a little better at that than I am, which is good.
It's that we want to not be afraid of living our lives because of the disease.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at this hair. He has to shower. I can't deal with a talent like this.
Horrible.
The ladies need to love him, and it's rough right now. This is a rough situation.
It's really gross.
Go, Nate, go.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
Alright, so first let me get naked.
Two more pumps. I can tell it's necessary. Yeah, now we're cooking with gas. Oh man. Oh, that's money. Oh yeah. And now, just imagine what this is gonna be like in 5 or 12 or 24 months when I'm totally fucking paralyzed. Can't stand up, can't grab the bar. What the fuck are we gonna do then?
Well, what's all you do? A sorority house.
Let them fucking go to town on this sweet ass body.
Pass you around like a fucking...
Rachel, you used to ask me for 2 things. This is true, no joke. More presents, especially on her birthday, and a 6-pack. All she wanted was for me to get a 6-pack. Now I can't even fucking sit up straight. Alright, how the hell do we do this? 1, 2. Fucking amazing.
See where the tower is there?
Yeah.
So that's the front doors.
Alright.
So we'll follow you, and then we have a delegation of 6 of our key activists who have been working on these issues. They don't like protesting here. It's government, it's the private airport, and it's the only place where his staff are located.
Good.
Do you want to rest your voice for a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna rest for a little bit. Well, such a pleasure to meet you. I have stage 4 colon cancer, so I'm in there fighting the fight for everybody. I'm like Ady, I just fight. I just keep fighting.
We're gonna say we're here to see Peter Roskam, and they're gonna say no cameras, no cameras. They're gonna keep trying to push that, say why can't these things be transparent? The people need to see. Great, you got it?
Yeah.
So I think this is a pretty nice event.
It's good. Nice turnout.
Oh, look at you, you're less skeptical of me.
We are going to walk in behind Ady.
What do we want? Healthcare! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Healthcare! When do we want it? Now!
Everyone's coming up. Let's all go up.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm Ady.
My name is Veronica. I'm with
Hi,
Congressman's
Veronica.
office.
Good to meet you.
Now we're not gonna have any press or media or cameras
Why
allowed.
not?
And
It's a public office.
it is our long-standing policy when we're in meetings that we don't.
My long-standing policy is called the First Amendment.
I understand, and you have. We respect your First Amendment
Thank
right.
you. Let's meet right here with the camera.
Well,
Allison, why are you here today?
I've been incredibly frustrated by the lack of response from Peter Roskam. Even when I've made phone calls to his office, the discourteous way that I've been treated by members of his staff has been a continual source of frustration.
No, the Congressman has been very clear that he supports protecting pre-existing conditions in any healthcare plan.
He's voted to take them away.
He supports. I do encourage everybody to please contact our office if you want to have a meeting. Thank you very much for your time.
Unbelievable.
This is what it means to live in a democracy, right? Is to do something when we're dissatisfied with the results that we're seeing.
Shame! Shame! Shame!
Stay strong.
Yeah, you
I
too,
know
baby.
you've got
You
a
too.
big fight ahead of
We
you.
got fire in our
Bye.
belly, baby.
One of the things we're trying to capture are people's personal stories and then use Ady's platform to lift those up.
My son is 34 years old. He's autistic. He has disabilities. What is going to happen when I die? And my child is left to a society that no longer cares.
We really do appreciate your coming. Loving each other, taking care of each other. That was once the American way. We got to get back to that.
Thank you. Come on, folks. Movement building is invigorating for me. It allows me to transcend my body and be part of something bigger than myself. And that's the beauty of democracy, that together we can be more than our individual selves. We're gonna build a society that we can be proud of. And then, can you put my left hand like this?
That's good.
Tomorrow you got an interview when we have a rally at 3.
I thought tomorrow was a rest day.
Oh, every day's a rest day.
You can find liberation in the struggle. You can channel all the anger and frustration that we feel into hope. Rebecca Solman teaches us hope is a hammer. Hope is a hammer that we hope is driving hope. My speaking has deteriorated a lot, and I don't know whether I've given my final speech.
You took 5 this morning.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, really. Hey, Carl, what did we do after school today?
You went to the airport.
We did see a big one take off, yeah. And we saw some little ones too, right?
Wow, that's so fun.
You want to say I love you, Abba?
I love you too, girl. Bye-bye. He's talking so much now. By far the hardest part of the disease is losing the time with calm. At the end of my life, when I look back on this moment, I want to be proud of what I've done. That's pretty.
It's a little rainy.
Yeah, then I come in looking like a badass. My hair always looks better wet.
Bernie goes for the opposite look, like becoming a raisin in front of your eyes, so I'm glad you can balance it out.
He becomes a raisin, I become a vegetable.
Stop. Stop.
Did you just make a vegetable joke?
Yeah, we're not. No one, I don't know who's laughing.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
you did. just get to ignore the inevitable. Sorry for disturbing.
I'm not ignoring the inevitable, which is why you get to have such a long fucking speech.
That's right. It's my last.
Okay, but every time you say that, yet you're still here.
You're gonna lose your fucking mind. It's crazy. It's packed. There's like 2,000 people in there losing their shit. Oh yeah. Wow.
Thank you so much. It is an honor to now introduce Ady Barkan.
I am traveling across the country asking Americans to be heroes in this dangerous moment. My voice is weak, but when I join with you, when we bring our voices together, we can be heard loud and clear. Can you hear us, America? At the end of my life, when I look back, I want to be proud of what I have done. I am willing to give my last breath to save our democracy, and I'm here to ask you, what are you willing to give? I believe that we will win.
That was really intense.
Thank you for everything. Done so much for me, and you believe in me.
I really do.
Thank you. None of this would be possible without you and your ferocity and your hustle and your determination. I love you, Liz.
I love you too, Ady. I can't take you anywhere. I can't believe this is our last night. Eat it, eat it.
I'm gonna give it to Ady.
Go, give it to Ady, give it to Nate, go.
This is ALS friendly sport. Kind of amazing. Nice. What the fuck?
What the hell is going on in here? What did you do to him? Oh, is he stoned?
He's so
Oh, jeez.
I'll see you later when you're done raging. I'll see you tomorrow.
Are you okay?
Night, night.
It is this coming together in rooms like this, overflowing, standing room only in the fight for justice. I know that voice because he's my son. Carl, do you know what we say? Power to the people. Can you do that?
Papa, I don't know.
Let me talk to people.
Okay.
Carl, I love you so much.
That's what we got.
Carl, can every kid wear a headbutt?
My headbutt.
Carl, look how well I headbutt. Headbutt.
Hey, Daddy.
A, B, C, D, E, F. Boom. W, H.
Boom.
Bang. Wow. So there was a dramatic development.
It is my honor and privilege to announce that I will nominate Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the United States
Fucking Christ.
He will solidify a conservative majority that is expected to last for decades.
Oh, man.
This is bad news for healthcare.
We ended the tour, but now we have a new fight. I'm worried about discrimination based on pre-existing conditions. We are going to DC for a big rally against Brett Kavanaugh, and we'll pay for an accessible bus if you want to come park some shit up because simple disobedience by disabled people save the ACA. This Kavanaugh fight will be a defining moment for the election.
Every single thing that we care about in this country is at stake with this vacancy. We need everyone to be calling their senators. Are we going to make it happen? We've got to fight for justice because that is what every step of the way on every issue that we care about. Thank you, Senator.
Yeah. But apparently there's 250 people at the training for CD that's still going on. They'll all be in the t-shirts.
For who we fight for.
Go with what we got, you know?
We need to fight so hard.
We demand health care for all. We say no to Kavanaugh. We demand health care for all. We say no to Kavanaugh.
How are you?
Good to see you.
So good to see you.
The system is corrupt.
The system is corrupt.
And that's why we disrupt.
The system is corrupt. And that's why we disrupt. The system is corrupt. And that's why we disrupt. The system is corrupt.
The bombshell accusation is rocking the confirmation process.
This morning, new scrutiny of Supreme Court nominee Judge Brett Kavanaugh. Christine Blasey Ford claims he pinned her to a bed and groped her.
Some Republicans, like Senators Jeff Flake and Susan Collins, are now saying they need to hear more.
We heard the news that Kavanaugh was accused of sexual misconduct, and everything changed. I need to call back and support survivors.
Ady's back to beg Jeff Flake once again to try again to be a hero, to vote no on Kavanaugh.
I thought Ady was going to speak, and he turned to me and he just said, no, you go.
Senator Flake has an opportunity to be a hero and to protect democracy, to make sure that we do not continue the long tradition in this country of ignoring the violence that women endure from day one. I myself know about that violence. I was 5. He was 15.
Get out of the center of the hallway. You guys gonna have to move against the wall.
I was 5 and he was 15. I told one person and they did not believe me, and I learned the lesson that we are not believed when we tell our stories. I want to make sure that in this country we believe people who experience sexual violence.
Your second warning.
Senator Flake, this is not even a heroic act. I'm sorry. Just vote no.
For the first time, I learned about the abuse that Anna Maria suffered.
I didn't realize at the time that was rape.
I expected the police to believe me.
I think the nation is having a more honest conversation.
The system is corrupt, and that's why we disrupt.
We knew Senator Flake might be the one that could vote against Kavanaugh.
Does everybody here know that plan?
Just step in and be a compliment. So no blocking.
We're blocking till we get a warning or 2 warnings, and then we back up.
We went back to Senator Flake's office. He was running to the elevator.
Senator Flake! On Monday, I stood in front of your office with Ady Barkan. I told the story of my sexual assault. I told it because I recognized in Dr. Ford's story that she's telling the truth. What you are doing is allowing someone who actually violated a woman to sit in the Supreme Court. This is not tolerable. What are you doing, sir?
You can be a hero today.
Be a hero. Senator Flake, do you think that Brett Kavanaugh is telling the truth? Do you think that he's able to hold the pain of this country and repair it? That is the work of justice.
Ana Maria Archila, you're very brave. A lot of people confronted with that opportunity would not have jumped in and seized that moment. You did.
This is what activist leadership looks like when they say, look me in the eye when you're making decisions that have an implication on my life.
Be a hero and vote no!
And
Be a hero and vote no! Vote no! Vote no! Vote no! Vote no!
This country's being ripped apart here. I do think that we can have a short pause and make sure that the FBI can investigate.
I love you.
How are you?
I'm okay.
What an amazing day. I have never seen Ireland deliver
But you know, like all of us are learning these with you, through you.
Hold on to this The Kavanaugh confirmation was a massive loss and is an enormous slap in the face to survivors. It smells good in there. Hey, girl! What do we read? How about little blue car? I'm not a particularly good dad at the moment, but I'm gonna keep trying to build that relationship.
Okay, Carl, how about for the first story, you can Abba's up.
No, Mommy's here.
Stop.
I want
No, you gotta put your. I've been telling you it's time to put your pajamas on, so it's time to put your pajamas on now.
I want
Just put your pajamas on.
And get big. And headbang.
I'm working on a memoir because I want Carl to know who I am.
His parent inability. Tickle to tickle and chase him around. Build towers. So exciting.
As my voice disintegrates, I will have no way to communicate other than through this eye gaze technology.
Whoa.
A
Cortana?
little sign in here, a touch of Wi-Fi there, and we'll have your PC ready for all you plan to do.
Are you able to control anything with your eyes right here? Yo, that's it. He's talking to you now.
This is halfway towards being a cyborg.
It's exciting.
If I had to leave one final message with my natural voice, I think it would be peace out, motherfuckers.
I've started waking up in the middle of the night with shortness of breath. It's scaring Rachel, and we're thinking it may be time to face this decision about the tracheostomy.
I would prefer you get the tube sooner rather than later because you increase the risk of pneumonia. If you wait, which would be very difficult to recover from with the impaired respiratory function that you have.
They think that you probably shouldn't be breathing on your own anymore.
I want to see if I can hold out a little longer.
Right.
I still want to be able to say the few words I can say.
But the Zillow on my pillow always helps me fall asleep. You going to sleep? Are you ticklish? I don't think you're ticklish. I'm gonna check. Let's take over. Under here. On Wednesday, he watches a movie.
Rachel has done an amazing job of holding our family together. Holding me and Carl together.
At Carl's parent-teacher conference, Ingrid got a book about like a mom in a wheelchair, and she said that when they read it, Carl was like, "Oh, that's like my Abba." Yeah, because in the book they like zoom around together. I feel like he's been really sweet with you lately. Like he's been giving you a lot of cuddles. He's ridiculously outgoing, yeah. I feel like one thing he does that's really like you is that he pushes right up to the edge of what people are gonna take, and then he goes over it. He used to do that a lot. Yeah, no, he definitely has a lot of your personality, that's for sure. Which is very nice. It's, I think, much better than being a shy, bookish introvert. Your perfect hair, is that what you said? Impressive. Yeah.
Pete Roscoe passed a tax bill that could take my health care away and yours. On November 6th, let's send him home.
These videos we made are running in over 100 districts, and have millions of views. We're hoping for some sweet revenge tonight.
We begin with the midterms. So many races, razor thin tonight.
I voted. They voted.
Nice hair. This is good.
We realize the only clothes
I'm
we
shaking.
have the neck.
The New York Times says 95%.
Definitely do not pay attention to me.
Yeah. You're just being like Carl.
Peter Roscoe has now called and conceded a significant
One of the districts where we live
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
The big story of the night, the House will now be in the control of Democrats in 2020.
Oh my gosh!
23 necessary to take control of the House of Representatives. At the same time, Republicans
Picked up 30 seats tonight. So, it wasn't for nothing all that driving around.
This is a very significant defeat for Mr. Trump, a historic accomplishment for the Democrats.
Yeah. Well,
right.
great. That's good enough.
It is the beginning of a new Democratic Party, younger, browner, cooler, more women. It's something happening out there, and I'm happy about it.
Babe. Seeing your house, I have no idea how you left and went on the road with us for so long.
I missed you too, goofballs.
I like the booties.
He does like the food cheese. Pull it out. Nice.
Here we go.
Here you go.
Oh, can put it right
Oh.
here.
Oh.
Oh. I guess if this fall over again.
No, you're doing a good job.
So one of the things we're talking about is like he might come and testify in front of the Senate about Medicare for all, right? Which would be fucking amazing.
The computer is terrible at emotions.
I don't disagree with that, but I do think you should do one speech with this.
What gets lost if somebody else reads the speech?
Why?
What you're doing is like you're glossing over a real situation.
Yeah.
One of the real situations is you've lost your voice. And the way you speak today is you use your eye. And it's like it's glossing over it if you bring some nice young beautiful woman to just chat with you like this is really hard for him. It's just like that's bullshit. What's real is this. And I think you force senators to look at that and to face it.
I agree.
This is powerful. You want to get Medicare for all passed? Do it this way.
Okay, well, let's see if they let me testify.
You want that chair side by side?
Yeah, and then we'll just pick them up and go in.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
All right.
Wait. Your hand. The neck pillow.
But we already made the swap.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
Is that one small?
It's just crooked.
All right, there you go. We're gonna leave them on their desk.
It's gonna be very subtle.
It's gonna be subtle.
We're all about subtlety and
With us today is Ady Barkan. We have a picture of Ady's beautiful family here today, and I'm sure your son is incredibly proud of you being here at the first ever Medicare for All hearing. And at this point, I will yield to Ms. Lesko.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a very partisan bill, and I'm sure that you know that most, if not all, Republicans in the House are probably going to vote against it. So, I don't know why we're doing this, but, we are, so here we are. So,
Congresswoman Lesko, you said you're not sure why we're doing this hearing. First of all, if you don't remember, I want to remind you that we last ran into each other in Arizona during your election. That time, when I asked you about Paul Ryan's plans to cut Social Security, you had no idea what I was talking about. Well, it seems you have chosen to not get your facts straight today, either. Why are we having this hearing? To keep people alive.
I do believe we need to have high-quality health care at a reasonable cost.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barkan. The floor is yours.
Chairman McGovern and members of the committee, thank you for inviting me to testify today. I am 35 years old and I live in Santa Barbara, California with my brilliant wife Rachel and our beautiful toddler Carl.
Who's that?
Every month since my diagnosis, my motor neurons have died out, my muscles have disintegrated, and I have become increasingly paralyzed. I am speaking to you through this computer because my diaphragm and tongue are simply not up to the task. Although my story is tragic, it is not unique. In many ways, it is not so rare. Every family is eventually confronted with serious illness or accidents. On the day we are born and on the day we die, and on so many days in between, all of us need medical care. And yet in this country, the wealthiest in the history of human civilization, we do not have an effective or fair or rational system for delivering that care. Our time on this earth is the most precious resource we have. A Medicare for all system will mean more time giving high-quality care. And for patients and our families, it will mean more time doing the things we love, together. And so my closing message is not for the members of this committee. It is for the American people. Join us in this struggle. Be a hero for your family, your communities, your country. Come give your passion and your energy and your precious time to this movement. It is a battle worth winning. For my son Carl, for your children, and for our children's children. This is our Congress. This is our democracy. And this is our future for the making.
He's a 35-year-old organizer who was diagnosed with ALS, an irreversible degenerative neurological disease.
Ady's testimony was game-changing in terms of the whole context of the hearing.
The emotional testimony of Ady Barkan.
Incredibly powerful testimony today from activist Ady Barkan. Barkan has continued his activism through his illness.
Now, I want to have a chance to tell the story about my friend Ady Barkan.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi even thanking Ady for helping win back the House for Democrats.
He's been an activist and an organizer all of his life. Fought to save the Affordable Care Act. He's fought to stop the tax cuts. He fought to stop Kavanaugh. Please give him a big hand.
Ady, I'm honored to be able to give to you the Power Award.
The paradox of my situation is, the weaker I get, the louder I become. Now that people are listening, Liz and I demanded the presidential candidates meet with me to talk about health care. The crazy thing is, it worked. Senator Booker, as president, will you push to expeditiously replace the private health insurance model with a single-payer model, or will you push for a more limited expansion whereby some people will have Medicare and others will have private insurance? Senator Harris, your plan has a 10-year transition period until it is fully enacted. Why do you think the transition should be so gradual?
I think he is much more tired. He's getting iller, and it's not as easy as it used to be.
If Democrats do not take back the Senate, what will President Sanders try to accomplish via executive action?
You need to eat, man. I know you don't want to, but you have to.
The insurance industry and pharmaceutical corporations will throw everything they have at blocking progress. How do you plan to fight back? Liz, I don't feel well. I don't think I can do this next interview.
Okay.
I'm having trouble breathing.
His lungs are really weak, and so he gets really nauseous, and if he throws up, it could kill him. I just think we have to stop. I just think this is fucking crazy.
I feel nauseous. I have pushed so hard that I have failed to do what I needed to protect what little health I have left. I've been doing the hero performance for too long and I need to take a step back.
The doctors were ready with the first aid kit, and the helicopter took the patient to the hospital. Thank you, rescue team. Well done.
Can we watch another Toy Fighter video? No. Oh, yes. Yes or no? Okay.
Yes.
Now you know how to talk. Good for you.
Lift the ankle up. Oh, okay. Have you confronted any politicians recently?
I'm leaving that to other activists now, but I have written my memoir.
Okay.
It's on pre-sale in 2 weeks.
Really? That's great. Congratulations.
You are in chapter 1.
Now I'm nervous.
I asked you then how long my life expectancy was. You were brave enough to answer, unlike many docs. You said 3 to 4 years. So now the question is, if I get the tracheostomy, how much will it extend my life?
There's very little data to put into the equation. Everybody's ALS is different, but with tracheostomy, you could live for a very long time after that.
Hands are for clapping, clapping to this song. Hands are for clapping, knees are for slapping. Let's all slap along, slap your knees.
Carl is at the age where he's beginning to form long-term memories.
Are for brushing, brushing to this song.
He's growing up so fast, and there's so much more I want to share with him.
Brush along like this.
Carl, Mom has some big news for you.
What is the big news? Can you tell me?
Are you gonna have a baby sister?
That is that the news?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a sister.
Is that exciting?
Mm-hmm.
Hi. Tummy shark.
I'm so happy for you. I cannot believe she's gonna have a girl. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes, we are psyched. It's crazy, but so is everything else.
It is crazy.
Well, we had always imagined having more than one kid. We had lots of conversations about how ALS does or doesn't change that desire. Ultimately, we decided that what was most important was for Carl to have a sibling.
There were lots of doubts. I think it is going to be a huge challenge. Probably my biggest source of support through this has been my sister. And so that made me really want Carl to have that kind of relationship too.
Carl, do you think your baby sister will love popsicles?
Yeah.
She can go to the store with us and get a popsicle. And we get a popsicle for her.
What flavor do you think she'll want? Strawberry.
Yeah.
Today is a day I've been dreading for almost 3 years. I'm going to get a tracheostomy.
1, 2, 3.
There are lots of people on ventilators with small kids, and they seem to have fulfilling relationships. But he won't be able to even talk the very minimal amount that he can now. He won't be able to eat any food orally. So last night he had a little bit of spaghetti carbonara as his last food that he ate.
And a little more.
Being on this ventilator is made tolerable by the idea that I could spend a decade fighting for justice and watching my children grow up.
Oh, I'm water in the sky.
There's a whole world to learn about, and more stories than you could read in 1,000 lifetimes.
Walking in to have a baby.
Want to add a little pepper?
You're holding the baby on. Hey. Hey.
My dear Willow, you are so new to this world, but I already adore you with my entire being. And so do your mom and your big brother Carl. Mom and I had to think hard about whether to bring you into this world. We knew that you would not have a carefree childhood. But we decided to be hopeful and brave. We decided to believe our family can be joyful and at peace. And despite all the challenges, we decided there is reason to be hopeful for our nation as well. Mr. Vice President.
How you doing? Ady, how are you, pal?
Barkan.